from the Gospel of Luke, portions of verses from chapter 2, concerning the shepherds, Simeon and Anna, Mary and Joseph, and finally the Lord in Jerusalem at age 12. All who heard marveled at those things which were spoken to them by the shepherds, but Mary kept all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all that they had heard and seen as it was spoken to them. And after 8 days the Lord was brought to the temple. An old man named Simeon picked him up and blessed him. And then Anna came. There was a prophetess, Anna. She was advanced in many days, a widow of about 84 years, who stood not back from the temple day and night, serving God by fastings and prayers. And she, standing by at the hour itself, confessed the Lord and spoke of him to all those who waited for redemption in Jerusalem. And when they, Mary and Joseph, had finished all things according to the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own city, Nazareth. And the little child grew and became strong in spirit, filled full of wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. And then, 12 years later, Jesus was found at the temple again. All those who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. And seeing him, Mary and Joseph wondered. And his mother said to him, "Child, what hast thou done to us? Behold, thy father and I sought thee, grieving." And finally, lessons from the Arcana Celestia. Arcana 1457 tells us that the Lord was also instructed, as are other people. As we're told in Luke, the child grew and waxed strong in spirit and was filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. Joseph and the mother of Jesus, after 3 days, found him at the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. Seeing him, they wondered. But he said unto them, "How is it that you sought me? Do you not know that I must be about my Father's business?" Then Jesus, it says, advanced in wisdom and in age, with grace, both with God and men. From the Arcana 2405 we read, "In a general sense, morning," the part of the day, morning is used to describe both the time of dawn when the sun breaks, but also the time when the sun rises. The morning means the Lord's coming, and so the approach of his kingdom and the rise of a new church. The Lord rises daily, indeed every single moment, in the minds of those regenerating. Amen. Merry Christmas. Ponder, wonder. Mary heard the words of Anna and the words of Simeon when they brought baby Jesus to the temple. And it said Mary heard these things, she pondered them in her heart. She pondered the things that were told her by the shepherds when they found out that they should come and worship the Lord. Many years later, we're told that she wondered when they looked for the child Jesus, now 12 years old, couldn't find him, had to go back after 3 days, and there he was in the temple. And they wondered at what was going on. Here this young boy was able to hear questions and give answers that made everybody astounded. What's the difference between pondering and wondering? Well, maybe this morning you were looking at the Christmas tree or maybe looking at gifts and something, and you might have thought, I wonder what's in there. And maybe you can just see what's in the manger there, and you might not wonder what or who that is. You might go, I don't need to wonder that, but I want you to ponder. Pondering is more something that often we think about as a quiet thing we do. We ponder within ourselves. We reflect. We consider. But wonder oftentimes has to do with being extremely awed. Something's powerful, and you've never seen it before, and you wonder. So we talk about a wonder child, perhaps. We don't talk about a ponder child. No, a wonder child. There's somebody that's wonderful, somebody that fascinates us, somebody doing something that's really extremely unusual. But we ponder about things that we wonder about, so they're kind of connected. Singing the songs this morning, there's a quiet part of Christmas. There's a pondering part. We sing songs and we talk about Jesus, no crying he makes. Well, we know that baby Jesus did cry occasionally, like all babies, because one of the things we find out from the Word is the Lord was raised just like any other child. He had to learn things just the way everybody else had to learn things. He did learn much faster, so that by the time he was 12, he was amazing grown men. They were wondering at his teaching. But Jesus had to ponder many things as well. He had to stop and reflect upon all the stories of the Word that talk about his coming and how he himself would fulfill the prophecies. And so when we say, consider the heavens, the moon, and the stars which you have ordained, when we stop and consider everything the Lord has created, Christmas morning, we need to stop, Christmas Day, this time, and do some pondering. Like it says, Mary pondered these things in her heart. We need to quietly reflect on what the Lord's birth means to us. How are we fulfilling the prophecies or fulfilling the teachings that the Lord gives us to follow him? So there's these quieter parts that are talked about. We're going to be singing Calm on the Listening Ear, which is one of the beautiful songs we love to sing at Christmas time. Silent groves, it talks about in that song. Or the deep blue Galilee comes a holier calm. So there's quiet parts of the Christmas celebration that I want to just focus on a little bit and think about getting all the excitement. Yeah, we want to be excited. We're happy that we're able to open presents. We're happy perhaps with what we get to eat later on or right now. But we need to stop and ponder first, because that makes the celebrations all the more wonderful. We're singing songs of solemn joy. Loud with their anthems ring is another line from Calm on the Listening Ear. We have the aspect also of the wonder and the excitement and the power and sometimes overwhelming sense of gratitude and awe because the Lord's come into our lives. The last lesson I read from the work Arcana Celestia talks about mourning having two different meanings. One is just the breaking of the day. That is when the sun starts coming up over the horizon. Now, you might not ever get up to watch the sunrise. Some people love to do it. Some people love to do it at winter solstice and at summer solstice. That time when the earth is turning, we've just entered into winter. The winter solstice happens. The darkest night of the year, the longest period of no sunshine during the course of a 24-hour day in the northern hemisphere. But dawn does come every morning. And the days from now on are getting longer and longer and longer. Some people like to celebrate that by getting up to try to watch the sunrise on December 21st or 22nd. That's an event and something to stop and think about. The Lord came into the world at a certain time. Ponder that. Stop and think about that. Things were really dark. They'd been getting darker and darker and darker. And one of the reasons we celebrate Christmas at this time of year is because it's a dark time And then the light starts to increase. The Lord comes. There's a moment that happens sometimes over and over again, but there's a moment that we can stop and ponder and think, how is the Lord coming to me? How am I opening up my heart and my mind to allow myself to think a little bit more about who the Lord means to me, how I'm a disciple of the Lord, how I could follow the Lord better? It says, so that morning has that one sort of quiet pondering part where the sun breaks through, and then the dawn happens and the rest of the morning takes place. We're told that in heaven, people, they love the morning and they do a lot of work. They're very energized. Things are wonderful through the course of the day. So as we think about pondering and wondering, we're thinking about this Christmas day, how things have been really dark. It's been hard. For so many people missing so many other people, it's hard. We all wish we could be hugging and kissing and enjoying our families, our aunts and uncles, our grandparents. So there's people that we're missing a lot, and we can ponder that. There's people who have left this earth and gone into the next world. We miss them a lot, and we ponder that. And yet we know the day is going to continue going, and we know the wonder of heaven. We know about the wonders that are given to us in a book called The Wonders of Things Heard and Seen in Heaven, the book Heaven and Hell in the New Church. Christmas is a time to stop, reflect, ponder, think about Mary and Joseph, think about that baby, think about the blessing of the Lord coming into our lives in the darkest period and the light that then comes afterwards. And to think with wonder about the things the Lord's going to give you. Not just all the presents. It's wonderful to think about the gifts we receive, but the deeper things, the deeper presence, the deeper wonder as things open up and the Lord enters into our minds and our hearts more and more every day. We're told mourning is taking place and there's a rising of the Lord in the hearts and minds of all people who are looking to Him. All people that are reflecting upon this day and all the days that follow. How is the Lord being born in my heart? How am I progressing in my life with wonder at this amazing event and how that can be reborn all the time within me? Merry Christmas. I hope you can celebrate with people, if not in person, then perhaps through the internet, some other ways to connect with people, because these connections are so important. The Lord came on earth to connect with us. He wants us, just the wise men brought Him gifts, He wants us to share that gift, connecting as well as we can with others. And perhaps in quiet contemplation to ponder the people that we can't be with, to ponder the people that are not perhaps enjoying Christmas as much as we are, and what we can do to make their Christmas celebrations a little better. Ponder and wonder. Enjoy quietly, but also with celebration that the Lord has been born on earth. Amen.